Okay, this time I finally got the front turn signal LEDs the way I want them. I went through, after the Phillips bulbs, which you saw the last episode, the Phillips bulbs sucked. You can see how much these suck. Now I don't want you to buy these. They just glowed. It wasn't really an LED bulb. So I tried another one after that, the same brand as the fog lights, which were bright. The problem is the turn signals were white and the driving lights were white. Somebody mentioned that in Canada you can have the turn signals to be white or yellow. Well, I don't know if that's true in the US, and I kind of like the yellow light in the front. You know, it's just me, but... So that light didn't work. The next bulb I got, which is the ones I have in now, are perfect. They're super bright. They go from white to yellow, and what I like, I think it's in the car, it's not the bulb, but let's say both lights are on like this. When the flashing light is, let's say the turn signal, rather than the white staying on and the yellow kind of flashing in the background, which would kind of wash it out, this light stays on, this light turns off, and it flashes yellow like this. And again, I think it's in the program of the car, it's the way it's set up. But I was afraid that the yellow wouldn't stand out over the white. You know, when you see a car coming down the street, the lights are bright, and its turn signal's on, but you can't see it because everything's so bright. Well, I didn't want that, and I'm hoping that the brighter LED will somewhat overpower the HID light and make it more noticeable, because again, it's not just about having cool lights. I want it to be safe. So let me show you that. Also, the other thing that we did was did a mild to wild switch. There's a bunch of them out in the market. You can buy the remote that plugs in and you have a key fob, or some people have even programmed it to the visor. I kind of like the OEM style feel with a switch, which is how the C7 was. You could control it with the suspension control. It would open the valves at the same time. Well, the C6 doesn't do that. You've got the selective ride, but it doesn't change the valves. So we put a dedicated switch in there, which I really like. It's very, very OEM-like, which is what I'm, you know, really into. I like it really clean. So this is where we'll put the mild to wild switch right here. So basically took out the cigarette lighter. For one, I'm never going to use that. Also the power outlet. I'm not using the one in there because there is one actually under the armrest, which I'm going to use to charge a phone. I was originally going to put it in the ashtray. Obviously you see the ashtray is removed. I was going to put it in there, but there wasn't enough depth, and then trying to get the wire behind here and have this, you see this moves with it, it would trap the wire. So the switch I chose fits in here absolutely perfect, and it's the right diameter. It looks very OEM, and I'll tell you what else is cool. It's got a light on it. It's blue, which matches my interior. You know, the blue, the stitching, I'm really excited about. Well, it matches, so switch it on, it goes blue. Very, very easy install, but first off I'm going to kind of show you how effective it is and how quick it works, and of course the benefits. So let me go ahead and start the car and let you hear it. Alright, so that gives you an idea of what I've been doing with the LED bulbs. So two reasons why I'm playing around with LED bulbs. First one is I want it to look cooler. That's part of the fun, right? Also is the fact, just modifying and customizing the car the way you want it. Customizing isn't always about spending hundreds of dollars, especially after buying the car and paying the tax on it. You know, you don't have a whole lot of money left over. I know I don't. I'm like still making payments on the last Z06, so that's a whole other story. So I've probably got less than $100 in bulbs, but it's made me feel like the car's the way I want it now. If you didn't see the filter test, I did the Attack Blue filter. I made a separate video, but again, I kept looking at intakes. I don't have the money for an intake right now, and I wanted to do something to see if it made more power. And again, nobody really talked about what it made, so I went ahead and did that filter, and it made a lot of power through the mid-range. And also it's a filter that we can clean, so I don't have to replace it unless I change intakes completely, but I don't foresee me doing that. I plan on doing some road course with it. I'm not a professional driver, so I'm not going to be pushing this car nowhere near its limits. I'm doing it for the sheer fun. And the last time I did it, I realized the car had more power than I could handle on the track. On the street, of course, whole different story. Put the car in a straight line, punch it, put it to the floor, wait while red line, shift. Yeah, you can handle 700-800 horsepower, that's not a problem. But using that on a road course, I realized that I had way more power than I needed. In fact, there was a guy that was running a bone stock Grand Sport that was just absolutely killing me on the last time I went out, and I was in a Z06. He said he made less than 400 to the wheels, and he was one of the fastest guys of the day, so that kind of proves you don't need that much horsepower. So watch that test. Again, it's part of modifying the car, it's part of enjoying it, it's part of tinkering with it, and put the car towards your taste. Some future plans with this, I showed you in the last episode, we're putting wheels on it. Well, I ended up deciding to powder coat those wheels. The more I looked at it, the more I thought about it. They look kind of boring silver, so we're doing something a little bit different. Nothing too crazy, but it's crazy for me. I'm really subtle, usually. So the wheels are getting done right now. I have the Cup 2 tires to put on there. Future plans with the car, I want to make more power, not intentionally just because of the things I want to do to it, just to make it more efficient. I don't want to up the boost, I don't want to put a cam in it. I plan on doing the bored out throttle body, possibly porting the front snout and the supercharger. We'll do that here. We do a lot of port work for stuff here. We do titanium, we do a lot of customized pipe in here. So it has American Racing headers, which they're good headers, they fit nice, they're not leaking, they're not rubbing. Obviously the car's making power, but the midsection is all stainless, and from the last time you saw me do that, it's heavy. And we build titanium stuff, so why not kind of show off our skills, kind of use my car as a marketing platform for what we do at LHT. So from the headers back, I'm going to build a full titanium midsection, X-pipe, possibly an extra crossover tube, kind of like what we did on the C7. However, this sounds fantastic. I'm not trying to be biased because now I own a C6, I have to defend C6. I'm not that guy. I'll tell you what sucks about this car. In my opinion, it sounds better. The LS motor just sounds different to the LT motor. Even with the Acrovic, whatever the heck that thing is called, sounded great, but it still never sounded like this. This with stock mufflers and the X2 X-pipe sounds fantastic. So back to my story. You see how I ramble once I get talking about cars. That's why I can't talk to you on the phone. If you talk to me on the phone, I'll talk about cars forever. I'll never get anything done. So midsection, I'm going to change that completely to titanium. The pipes to the mufflers, I'm debating chopping those off and making the over axle piece titanium, just because it's a weight reduction and we make titanium. The tips, my opinion, the tips are too small, and I don't like that. 2 over here, big gap, 2 over here. I really liked the C7 look where they're all evenly across the back. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I don't really want to change the mufflers for the tips, but who knows? I don't know what's out there. And I like the exhaust valves. I'm not going to change that. I like the fact that I can go from loud to quiet. That's like the best of both worlds. That's like the answer to having a cool exhaust and a normal driving car. So I'm not going to change that. So I might possibly chop the tips off, and where they're sitting like this, if you can see me where they've got 2 and 2, I might bring these a little bit closer together so they look a bit more balanced. and maybe a little bit larger tip. Again, the C7, I'm not saying this sucks, but the C7 exhaust system looked better. The tip approach looked better for the car. Plus the thing makes 600 horsepower, 650 engine. Why not have something that looks beefy on the back end? So that's plans. Redo the exhaust, titanium X pipe, bore the throttle body, snout and blower. I'm not gonna get the big 110 millimeter throttle body and hog the blower out so it's paper thin. I'm not trying to make a ton of horsepower. I know these cars will make, you know, 700-800 horsepower with a stock blower if you port that, but I don't want to go that big. I'm good for efficiency. Efficiency meaning make the car run cooler, make it make more power without working as hard. Future plans after that, possibly pull the heads. In the back of my mind, the LS7 had problems with the heads. I fixed my own personal C6 Z06, and we've done a handful of customer cars, and I've seen problems with all of these: geometry problems, guide problems, the coating on the valve. You know the story, you've searched it. So it's kind of in the back of my mind about those heads. So I might pull the heads and go through those, change the exhaust valves, go to a stemless exhaust valve, change the guides, possibly change the rockers, or do the trunnion upgrade. That was something I did on a lot of C6 Z06s. And again, if I'm taking the heads off, I'm going to port them, right? I'm not going to put them back on the way they are. And there's probably 15 to 20 horsepower in port work. So end result, over 600 horsepower, 610, 620, perfect. That's all I'm looking for. And again, efficiency. So that's it for now. I'm not going to ramble anymore. The next video I will do some driving with the car. I've been driving it, but unfortunately the footage came out like crap. I used a GoPro 3 and a GoPro 5 and it sucked. The sound quality sucked. The whole shape, everything doing this looks like you're looking out of a bubble. I didn't like the way the footage looked. I'm going to do a wash and kind of show you how well the ceramic works. It's not bad, it's just dusty from driving it last Saturday, and yeah, I could do with a wash. So I'll do that and show you how well it cleans up. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for episode 6.